Hello there tubers, long time no see. Retro Marky here, back on YouTube. To be honest, it's not through lack of desire, but I had god awful hay fever and there's no way I could make videos sniffling all over the place. Pretty horrendous, but I'm back now and I've been on quite a few forums as of late and had a few questions about the Ultimate 2 Plus, because I'm always bragging about it. But I thought I'd look at some other solutions as well as that. So let's start with the first one here. You can see I've made my own little kernel by popping and programming an EEPROM and popping it on this device here. Just take that out for you. And what we've got is basically a cartridge that goes in the machine, and you can buy EEPROMs, about £1 each, program them yourselves, pop them in, and you're good to go. Nice little solution for about £30. Downside is you need to learn how to program them. Can take some time and effort and faffing, and you have to source some EEPROMs, but EEPROMs are nice and cheap. Good thing is these days you don't even need an EEPROM burner for these Chinese made EEPROMs, but you can also use the old school EEPROMs, and you will need a eraser for that if you want to change them. But I would suggest you probably don't want to be messing around changing them anyway. So that's one little solution. Another solution is this one here, which is the Easy Flash. In fact, this is the Easy Flash 1. If we just ignore this for a second, we go like here. So basically this is what this is. So this is a 1 megabyte cartridge with just a reset and a program on and off switch. So you program it yourself, you make up a complete image, so to speak, and then you're pretty much good to go. So it's like having a collection of cartridges all in one. Costs around £30. I do recommend it. Once it's programmed, it's easy to use. You can do big games like Shadow of the Beast and Last Ninja Remix and all that kind of stuff, and so that's a nice little gadget that. However, at the moment we're using Easy Flash 3, so think of the Easy Flash 3 as 7 of these as virtual images, as we saw around about here. Whoops. Yeah, so we've got 7 here. Let's go to Mayhem in Monsterland. For copyright purposes, I do own this on the original disc from RGCD, and I'd be happy to buy a cartridge if it existed. So yeah, nice and quick and easy. The Easy Flash, to program it you will need to use your 64, and probably you're going to use one of these rather than connecting to your PC, which costs more money and more faffing. If you get an SD2IC, internal one's about 30, external about 45 for this one. I like this one because I go to a workshop and take my 64, and this is a nice little small gadget to carry around. Pop on a huge SD card, and there's no plugging into power. It takes power from the cassette port. That one as well I can use on everything from Commodore 16 all the way up to the 128 and everything in between, including, oh, and a VIC-20 as well. So that is quite a nice one. Downside, I would say, is it's not as compatible by any stretch compared to the Ultimate 2. I'll go into that in a minute, but basically think of this as a bunch of virtual disk images, rather than it being an actual drive emulator, because 1541 actually had its own 2 kilobytes of RAM and a 6510 inside of it, and this doesn't emulate that. Now that means a lot of demos, especially the really good ones, don't actually work on it. That's the one downside to this, and that's really what swung me to go for the Ultimate 2, and a couple of other reasons I'll go into in a minute. So going back to the Easy Flash 3 as well, one thing I didn't sort of talk about. So with this you've got 7 of these basically. plus Action Replay and Super Snapshot if you want it, and also some kernels. So do you want an SX64? Well, you've got an SX64. Simple as that. Of course you have to put these on yourself. Some of them came on there. We've also got Jiffy DOS. Voila, so that's about £20 of value in just that itself. So yeah, so we can put 8 kernels on this, including alternative speed loaders, that kind of thing, plus 7 of these, and Action Replay. That's about twice the cost of that, but you can do the maths and it's obvious it's way worth it. Not saying that's not a good buy. If you want a low budget, go for that. So that's those solutions. Let's go to the creme de la creme, which is the Ultimate 2 here. Has 3 switches. I have 2 USBs in the side of it. It comes built in with Action Replay and a number of other alternatives, but I choose to use this one. Action Replay also has a fast loader, so you don't necessarily even need Jiffy DOS. 3 buttons on the top for reset and moving around the menus. You can use the joystick and the keyboard to navigate. So I've got 2 USB sticks, about 2 gig each, so a huge amount of software on these. And it's a simple menu system. So I've got discs on there, which is kind of like having a hard drive, bunch of cartridges, yeah, etc. Pretty much everything you can think of. For demos, I found it 100% so far perfect. So for original 64 demos, this is the one to get. There's another reason for that as well, and that is because we can have stereo SIDs coming out of this. They're emulated, but perfectly. On this one, I've got a left and a right channel with 2 different SIDs, the old 6581 classic and the newer 8580, with 8 voices, and I'm snooping the second SID at D420, and that gives an incredible pseudo stereo effect. There's also an output, audio output, so connect that to your hi-fi, and man, it's just incredible. For me, it's well worth it. As a demo fan, getting the stereo SIDs plus the 100% compatibility is just mind-blowing, to be honest. Other than that, yeah, so it's a tape deck as well. It can run tape images, so it can act like a normal tape deck. It's a disk drive, and also one other thing is it's got, if we go here, real-time clock. You can change the settings as well of all the colours, have multiple disk drives, network address and stuff like that. But what I wanted to show you was here, and yes, we've got a RAM expansion unit of 16 megabytes, a 16 megabyte Commodore 64, absolutely mind-blowing. Commodore made original RAM expansions, huge bricks on the back with their own power supplies with 512K, and this thing gives us 16 megabytes. If you've never seen a 16 megabyte REU demo, then go and check them out on YouTube. They're absolutely mind-blowing. I do have some problems with them on this. I'm not sure why. There was a CPU nanosecond adjustment here. I'm not sure if it may or may not be to do with that. So I do find the REUs don't always load very well. In fact, I'm going to try now, and I suspect we will have problems, to be honest. So let me go back. Stop it. Right, I'm just going to easy reset. Indicator lights here as well. Let's go here. So REU. So basically with the REU you're loading in 16 megabyte files. Blu-ray is an incredible demo, but yeah, no, it didn't load. No. Yeah, having problems. So it's not 100% perfect, but yeah, I have this problem sometimes as well where none of the SDs come up. I don't think it's faulty, I just think you've got to bear in mind it's a Commodore 64, and I mean, what we're doing, what we're forcing into it is pretty, it's not really what it was designed to do by a long stretch of the imagination. Yeah, see the disc now come back. Yeah, and that one's just stuck. It should be a bar going up like this. So for REU, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's probably the best you're going to get. But ignoring all of that, because that's really a novelty thing, I highly recommend the Ultimate 2. You've got incredible stereo sound going through your hi-fi if you want, perfect disk drive emulation, perfect tape emulation, easy flashes galore, kernels galore, internet access if you like. It's a no-brainer. So that's it. Well, thank you for watching. Any questions, give me a shout. Okay, I'll say ciao for now. Metro Marky, out.